first things first, let's do the junior golf news.
The news.
One major competition to cover, really. That was the Junior European Open, the 30th running of this tournament. It took place at Hacienda Links Golf Resort in Spain. 160 boys and girls took part in this event, so massive competition. If you remember, we spoke about this in the last podcast, because it was actually taking place the week. I think the final day was actually the day after we had our last podcast. Interesting format for this competition. 5 rounds of golf. The best 2 scores from the opening 4 days make the cut, and then the final day counts, kind of thing. Boys and girls separate competitions. The boys competition was won by Luke Metcalf from Walton Heath. So out of those first 4 rounds, 78 and 76, he went into the final day. I think he was a few shots off the lead, but shot a fantastic score, 68 on the final day. He won by 2 from Edward Featherstone and Andreas Roman. They shot 71 and 74 on the final day, though. So, but really good competition. Actually, there's some good scores as well, and also very, very close. I think of the top, just looking at there, the top 7 or 8 players separated by just 3 shots. So, sounds as if the format, which when we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, unusual format, but it kind of works, doesn't it? Because it keeps you interested if you have an absolute mare one day. And at the same time, if you do score some really good scores, it means you know you're going to be at the top of the leaderboard, kind of thing. So
everybody has a bad day, don't they? So you don't want to be wiped out of the tournament just for having a bit of one-off.
Yes, and as we saw with that final round, I mean, a great round of 68 to win it as well. So win it with a top score. Girls competition. Now this is the interesting one, because youngest ever winner of this competition, 13-year-old Sophia Clafton from Wallasey Golf Club. Her score 74, 79 and 76 on the final day. She won by 3 shots by someone who we know very well. We covered her winning one of the Fowler Series events last year, Lily Rose Hunt. Finished second in that competition. In third place, actually was leading after the joint leading after the opening round, was Katie Stevens. So well done to everyone who played in that competition over in Spain.
Katie Stevens, by the way, she's played 2020 Pro Tour.
Is that right?
Yeah,
so there you go. Right. 3 other stories then to tell you about. Three hole-in-ones to tell you about. 3 slightly different hole-in-one stories to tell you about. First one then, and what about this? I think we might have a scorecard here to tell you, to illustrate how good a round of golf this is.
North Berwick, I take it.
That's the boy, yeah. The North Berwick Golf Club, a golf course which I've played, and not an easy golf course. How about that for a scorecard? Jack McDonald with a 10 under par 61, opened, as you can see there, 8 consecutive threes. Then he parred the 9th hole, so going out in a mere 7 under par. Started the back 9 pretty well, got a hole in 1, then pars all the way in, and then birdied the last hole. So what a fantastic round of golf there from Jack McDonald. Absolutely, yeah. Right, another hole in 1 to tell you about. This one is on the DP World Tour. Teenager though, Northern Ireland teenager Tom McKimbin, who struck his hole in 1. It's just his second ever event playing on the DP World Tour in the South African Open. Now I know you love to talk about your live golf and everything, but he's from the same golf course as someone called Rory McIlroy. You might have heard of him. He's done quite well recently. Said a few things about a few golf tours, but anyway, there you go. But anyway, from the same golf tour.
I hope, by the way, let me just clarify. I am a fan of the PGA Tour and European Tour as well. By the way, I'm also a fan of live golf too.
Yes.
I'm just a fan of golf.
Absolutely, and you're also a fan of Rory's as well. Anyway, that hole in 1 came on the 11th hole there, so well done to Tom. Right, finally though, let's leave the best story till last then, because this, not just 1 hole in 1, 2 hole in 1s on the same day on the same golf course. 12-year-old Alex Roberts, he hit a hole in 1 on the 8th hole at the Mendip Golf Club, and then repeated the feat on the 12th hole, so on the 550-yard 12th hole. So 2 hole in 1s on the same golf course. And also, I love this photo for lots of reasons, but his hat, right? Now, if you read his hat,
flag,
well, if you read his hat kind of thing, it might look a little bit dodgy, the wording there. Now, I can say that it isn't arseback.
It's like baseball.
It's Barsback. It's a golf club. I think it's a golf club over in Scandinavia somewhere. I think it might be Norway or Denmark or Sweden or somewhere like that. So he's obviously played his golf overseas as well. But well done to him. The Mendip is a golf course in Somerset. So really well done there.
Do you know what the odds on that are? Do you know what the odds on that are? 2 hole in 1s?
Well, around about 40 million to 1. So not too bad.
Very long. Very long.
Very long.
Yeah.
Very long. Absolutely.
I don't know what they
Right.
are. Just if anybody knows, comment
Absolutely,
below.
Yes. Now, it's something which I've said on a few occasions with the news in recent weeks. Not too many competitions to talk about because obviously this time of the year, there has been some, and we ought to mention as well. And this we'll go into a few more details perhaps a little bit later on. The next podcast, the last one of the year, we're going to be talking about winter golf. So we're going to be talking about competitions you can play over the winter, some of the things you can be doing over the winter. So we're going to be touching upon that subject. But that's for another podcast. That ends the news then for this week.